All right, today we're tackling a 500-year-old engineering puzzle, a bridge that was designed to be built with absolutely no nails, no screws, and no ropes. We're going to dive into the mind of Leonardo da Vinci to see how pure, simple geometry can create something incredibly strong, something that almost seems impossible.
So let's just get right into the central mystery that has fascinated people for centuries. How is a structure like this even possible? On the surface, it really seems to defy everything we think we know about how to build things.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Just think about it for a second. Look around you. The chair you're sitting on, the building you're in, they're all held together by some kind of fastener. But this bridge, it has none of that. So what in the world is actually holding it together against the force of gravity?
Well, the answer is just as elegant as it is surprising. It's not about hardware, it's about the shape. The stability of this entire structure comes from nothing more than the specific, clever, angular arrangement of all its individual parts.
Okay, so if you want to get a little technical, what da Vinci did was achieve perfect stability, what engineers call static determinacy, using only the shape and the placement of the logs. He basically replaced physical connections like nails and screws with a brilliant idea.
But here's the thing. To really understand why this invention is so incredible, we have to look at the urgent problem he was trying to solve. This wasn't just some fun thought experiment. No, this bridge was born out of pure necessity.
That's right. You might think of the Mona Lisa or the Last Supper, but for a huge part of his career, da Vinci's main job was being a military engineer. He worked for powerful, often ruthless patrons, and his mind was constantly working on how to gain a tactical advantage on the battlefield.
So, let's paint a picture of the problem. In Renaissance warfare, speed was everything. Old-school bridges made of stone were way too slow to build and way too permanent. Armies on the move needed to cross rivers and moats fast, and they needed a solution that was temporary, reusable, and could be put up in a hurry.
So the key takeaway here is this wasn't an art project, it was a hardcore military design challenge. The checklist was simple. It had to be fast, it had to be light, and it had to be simple enough for just a few soldiers to assemble it using whatever materials they could find.
Okay, so we know the why. Now for the really cool part, the how. Let's pull back the curtain and see how this amazing design actually works. This is where we get into the physics of it, and trust me, it's just brilliant.
So to get it, you first have to understand a basic principle. Think about a simple plank of wood across a ditch. When you stand on it, it sags. That sag creates a force called tension, which tries to pull the bottom of the plank apart. Now an arch, on the other hand, does something completely different with that exact same weight.
And that something different is a force called compression. Instead of pulling things apart, the weight on da Vinci's bridge actively squeezes all the pieces tighter together. He didn't fight against the force of the load, he used it. The weight itself becomes the lock. Compression is the glue.
And building it is almost like putting together a puzzle. You lay down your base logs, angle the cross beams, and then you just nest the next layer of logs right into the notches created by the layer below. Each piece locks the previous one in place, creating this beautiful, repeatable pattern that forms a self-tightening arch.
Now get ready for the part that's going to mess with your head a little bit. The very load that would normally stress or even break a bridge, like an army marching across, actually makes this one stronger. All that extra weight just increases the compression and the friction at every single joint, locking the whole thing together even more securely. It's just incredible.
So, okay, the design is obviously genius, but was it perfect? Of course not. What were its real-world limitations? And, maybe more importantly, why are we still talking about this 500-year-old idea today?
You know, no tool is perfect for every single job, and this bridge was a very specialized tool. Its biggest advantages, being fast and simple, also came with some trade-offs. It needed really solid ground on both sides to push against, and it wasn't great against strong side winds. So it was a perfect solution, but for a very, very specific problem.
And yet, even with those limitations, for over 5 centuries, this core idea of using pure geometry to create strength has survived. It's held up as this perfect example of efficient engineering. And you know what? Its influence is far from over.
And its legacy isn't just sitting in a history book. You can walk into an engineering class today and see a model of this bridge being used to teach physics. But even more than that, its whole philosophy, using simple, interchangeable parts to build something strong and fast, is basically the direct ancestor of modern emergency bridges like the Bailey Bridge, which was so critical for the Allies in World War II. It's this powerful testament that sometimes the best solution isn't about more materials, it's about a smarter idea.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? In our world of complex materials and super high-tech solutions, Da Vinci's bridge is this perfect little reminder. A reminder that sometimes the most elegant, powerful solution is already right there, waiting in the simple, timeless principles of geometry. It really makes you wonder, what other brilliant solutions are we overlooking right now?